Hey YouTube, today we're gonna build the Giant Dipper roller coaster at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. And no, this is not going to be an exact replica, but it's gonna be close enough hopefully. So let's get started. So first we're gonna select our wooden roller coaster model, specifically the one with the Millennium Flyer trains. And here you can see I have the station ready, but we're gonna need to lift it up just a little bit because it does start with a small drop right out of the station. And this train is too long. I need it to be shorter than that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to bring out the station just a little bit because we want to have two trains. And so this is how it looks typically. And that should be good. So now we're going to reduce the number of cars to about, I think 9 is a good number. That's a good length for the train. And we're gonna reduce the friction just a little bit, down to a 0.6. And for the color palette, we need to select some whites and a reddish color. So let's select all white at first and see what that gives us. Okay. So now I would say the red, no, that's not gonna work. The red needs to go maybe here. No. The red needs to go here. And like I said, it's not gonna be totally accurate, but that's okay. The train is usually like a yellowish color. Not that yellow, but like something like this. And then we usually have black seats with a kind of light brown or orange hue. So let's do that. Okay. And this is what we have so far. So now we're gonna do our little drop right out of the station. And it is a curved drop. This roller coaster isn't very tall because it is old. It was built in 1922 or 25, I want to say. Apparently Albert Einstein rode this roller coaster because he loved roller coasters. Fun fact. So, no, that's not gonna work. We need it a little bit steeper and a little bit less banked. There we go. We'll bring it down just a little bit. Good. And we're gonna make this come out here for our straight section. And this is all gonna be inside of a tunnel, and we'll work on that part later. We got our straight section, and now we come up for our lift hill. Now this roller coaster is only 75 feet tall, so it's not that tall. But interestingly enough, when you look at it from the ground, it looks a lot taller than that. So let's bring it up here. Good. 75, look at that. Okay, now we're gonna have our drop, and it's not very steep, only about 50 degrees. There we go, but we need to bring it out a little bit just so that it looks a bit nicer. And I'm liking the way this is looking so far. Okay. We're gonna bring it down just a bit before we go right into the bottom of the drop. And actually, I want to reduce this one because I want the bottom to be a little bit longer. So here we go. Nope, that's too much. Right here is good. And we'll bring it up because we're gonna go right into our curve section. And we're gonna straighten this out. So far, so good. I like the way it looks. It's definitely reminiscent of the real Giant Dipper roller coaster. So this part needs to come down just a bit. And we're gonna raise this just a bit here, because this section is gonna come down like this. Reduce it just a bit. And bring this up here, straighten it out. Straighten it just a bit. We're gonna kind of bank this just a bit because now it's gonna come up like this. We're gonna go up, but we're also gonna make this a little bit smaller. Fun fact, the Giant Dipper was my very first big roller coaster. And I loved it. I was hooked after that. So you see how this is too small? We need to make this larger. So bring it up. And bring it down. Oops. And don't worry, if it looks small, we're gonna raise it a bit, so no need to worry about that. Bring it down just a bit. And bring it out a bit. It's good. So, we're gonna raise this one just a smidgen. There we go. And so far, it really does look like the Giant Dipper. So now we're gonna need to add a little bunny hill for some good airtime. This coaster actually has a decent amount of airtime, which is one of the reasons it's such a classic and people love to ride it. It's also not that rough for an old wooden coaster. It runs pretty well, at least I think so. We're gonna bring it there. You know, that's a little too long. I need to reduce that a bit, just a bit. Oof, that's gonna be an airtime hill if I ever saw one. So we're gonna come up here. About 40 degrees. I want it a little bit higher than that, just a bit. And now we're gonna make this a nice straight section here before we go into our banked left turn. But not banked too much, because we want some of those lateral G's. So we come down and this part a little bit more. Oof. We actually need to make this a little bit higher, just a bit. Okay, good. Now it's starting to look like the real deal. We're gonna bring it down just a bit. And bring this down just a bit. And bring it this way. And we're gonna come up here and get just a tiny bit. Make sure that it's aligned just enough to run parallel so that the track doesn't run in to itself. So we're gonna make that a little bit more curved. And then at this point, we're gonna go into a nice little drop right here. Good. So far, so good. Up into another hill. This needs to be a little bit smaller. Just a bit. We added some height to this hill. We're gonna come down. Nope, we need it steeper. And we're gonna come up to our next hill up here. And down again. Now we're gonna come up into our turn, which is gonna go around the edge here and come down this way. I'm gonna reduce this just a smidgen, bring it down, and we're gonna have this run along this side of the coaster, which I don't remember if that's how it actually is, but for all intents and purposes for this demonstration, that's how we're gonna do it. So let's see, we're gonna bring it out like this, give it a nice curve, a bit steeper here, a little bit steeper. deeper. Bring it down. Nope, remember what I said about making sure that you run parallel as best as you can. So you're going to turn this a bit more. Bring it out this way. One of the nice things about these really kind of old wooden coasters when you're building them is you don't need to smoothen them out too much. It's kind of nice to give it a bit more of a classic rough around the edges feel, because that's how they actually run. But if you prefer to make it smoother, that's totally up to you. And it looks like we're still running parallel for the most part. I am gonna turn it just a bit. Okay. Maybe increase that. Steepen it. Okay. And we're gonna turn this just a bit. So that we can come around here and give a nice little turn back into the station. I do want to smoothen this part out because I don't like the way that looks. I'm gonna bank it just a bit. Yeah, pretty good. Now we're gonna do what I call a lazy tunnel. And that's where we just up the terrain. We need it a bit smaller than that. No, bigger than that. Because we want this to go right into our tunnel. There we go. And I know that the actual ride is a building tunnel, not like rock work like this, but that's okay. For this demonstration, this is what we're doing. Okay, so we'll bring it up like that. Good, good. And this is our Giant Dipper. So let's give it a test run and see how it looks. One thing I did want to do is make sure that this lift hill speed here is about 6 miles per hour. And I kind of want this to come out of the station a little bit quickly. So we're gonna say 11 miles per hour on the exit. So let's give it a test run and see how it looks. Here we go. So far so good. We're headed to the lift hill. And up, up, up we go. Clickety clack, clickety clack. Normally there would be a nice ocean view right next to you, but not in this case. So anyway, here we go down. Whee! Oh yes. Oh yes, yes, yes. Great pacing. Down and up. into our bunny hill and up into our straight section. We curve and come down into this drop here. Whee! Lots of nice airtime. Up, more airtime. Come up to this turn. Come down into our hill. Up again. And over here, back into the brake run. Pretty good. I do want to reduce the friction just a little bit more because it does run a little bit slow. So why don't we say 0.4 and give it this view and see how that turns out. So here we go. And up, 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 clickety-clack, clickety-clack. This is the Giant Dipper at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. And here we come down. Oh yeah, I think this pacing is definitely more realistic. Yep. Great airtime. We come here, down around the turn, up. Nice, good airtime, especially for the people in the front. Whee! Down, we turn. Up here, up. Nice airtime, nice airtime. And back into the station. Pretty good. Let's give it a cinematic view. And there they go. Inside the tunnel we can't see, only the riders can see. But now they're out and they're headed up that 75-foot tall lift hill, which does feel taller. And they're going right into their first drop, reaching a maximum speed of 55 miles per hour. There they go. Up into their turn. Yes. You go, Giant Dipper. Up, up again. Here into the straight section, we turn. And now we turn again. Down into our airtime hills. Look at that. This is classic California thrill at its finest. So this was the Giant Dipper at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk in Santa Cruz, California. And let's just do one more time for good measure, because I like this view of the track. So here we go, heading to our lift hill. Up, 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 up. 75 foot tall. And here we come down the first drop. We're gonna reach a top speed of 55 miles per hour. Here we go. Whee! We come up into our left turn here. Come down. Go right up into this nice hill. Nice pop of airtime. Here's a bunny hill. Then up, up, up again into our straight section. Then we make our left turn. We come down a little bit. We go up and to the right. We come down, up, nice airtime, up, more airtime. We come up to our left turn, not too banked, just enough. Then we come down into another little airtime hill and another one. And now we go right back into the loading station. And that was the Giant Dipper.